some minutes from the 16th.
I didn't have any changes.
I had one. I think I changed. So thank you.
Well, that one changed. I got you. Sure, said that got changed.
Motion to approve. She's second. I read them. Done.
I'll second.
That made a motion. That's second.
John?
Yes.
Mike? Yes. Jay?
Yes. Kelly Austin. Let's see. Kelly Austin. Yeah. So therefore, let's move on into some scheduled reports. And we've got a bid opening 7:50, so that's kind of wild. Nice to get the Oklahoma thing done now, but Mr. Kitco, zoning inspector.
Okay, we processed 8 applications, over 7 permits. A couple fences, a couple accessory structures, one new dwelling, which is the first one of the year. We probably still will have cases that were supposed to be for the Board of Appeals got canceled because people didn't have their paperwork in, so hopefully they'll have it in for the next meeting. That's all I have.
Any questions or concerns for Mr. Kitco regarding zoning issues? No? Emma, can we? Yeah, we can put you here, can't we?
Sure. Oh, absolutely. Well, depends on where you're going to get.
That's true.
Auburn Township Road Department report for March 2015. There were 3 weather events that required 6 rounds of plowing and salting. The total use of de-icing materials was 121 tons for the month. The springs of total usage to date to 1,978 tons, and I provided you gentlemen there with a yearly average now and tons per year that we've been using over the last 8 years. The new yearly average as it stands is 1,762 tons per year. Our committed amount has been 1,860 tons per contract year. As per discussions with Trustee Everly and myself, we'd like to increase this to 2,000 tons plus or minus 20% to ensure supply of salt during the winter season without any reduction in service or experiencing delivery or shortage issues. This amount, the 2,000 tons, it does reflect tonnage necessary to handle a harsh winter such as 2014, 2013, which was last year when we had the 2,430 some tons of usage. We did discuss this, John, and I think the contract comes up in September. We'll renew this dialogue here and make sure that we do that.
Yeah, it just gives us cushion is what that does. You're picking up at 20% of 200 tons cushion. So
right.
Plus or minus.
Currently, I have 650 tons in the dome. I have a requisition in for the 20%, which is still at the $49.83 cost, which will push the dome to 1,000 tons of salt that we'll have in the dome at last year's price when we started last year. Okay, we had meetings with the Jogga County engineers and residents to secure work agreements where needed for the Stafford Road project, and they took place and all are signed. Cold patching was done on several roads with a total of 14 tons of material used. The heaving of the roads experienced this winter due to deep frost is settled with the slow warming weather, which we do appreciate. And a new rating will be done prior to crack sealing, about re-rate the roads, which we do every spring. Berm repair was done on several intersections as well, and ground damage cleaned up. We had several sign thefts over the last 2 weeks. Chateau Trail, Cinnamon Trail, Spiceberry Lane, Graywood Lane, Alex Williams Franks Road, and today we had the Widgeon sign overnight destroyed. So the signs since then have been replaced. Any brush that was cut during the month was taken to TRC, where we take the Christmas trees and it's turned into mulch. Roadside dumping, still an issue in the township, but we found a whole water softener system in the ditch, along with still in good shape, along with 2 sump pumps and all the plumbing for the house, along with 4 truck tires that were left in township ditches. The tires have increased. I have a pile down there. I'm starting to get a lot of tires now. The illegal dumping of car windshields on Frostwood Drive, I do have, I want to share randomly go in there and the neighbors watching, that has subsided. So we did pick up in excess of 60, 70 windshields in there over the course of the dumping that happened. So someone that's working at a windshield shop. Right.
And someone's really unlucky with trucks in front of
You
them.
know. And with that, I'd like to segue to a reminder that Auburn Township's roadside cleanup will be held on April 25th, and we'll have the dumpster in place, and I hope you can meet at the garage, and all supplies will be there, garbage bags, gloves, vests, whatever we hand out. And I hope to see you there. That's all I got.
I guess the scouts have set up a camping trip for that weekend, so we'll be missing some of them.
Right. I think you said some of them will be here, though. Okay.
Was that Kelly that just walked in?
Yes.
Is that? We, Kelly, welcome. We've got you on the agenda here. We have a bid opening at 7:50. There's 10 minutes. Can we get to you?
Yeah, whenever you're ready.
Okay, if that works.
Yeah, I can stay back here and hang out as long as you need.
Any questions or concerns for Emmerich Gordon concerning roads? Thanks, Emmerich. All right. Kelly Austin is the Vice President of Training, Senior Risk Manager for KLA Risk Consulting. And she's here to address the board about pharma, I believe. Come on up.
Thank you.
It's good to see you.
Hi, John. How are you?
Hello.
Thank you. All right.
Thank you.
All right. Nice to meet you.
Oh, nice to meet you.
PJ. John.
Yes.
Good to see you. So how much time do I have?
Well, however much you need, but we've got open bids at 7:50.
So if you can do it in 11 minutes, then
Yeah,
you're free to go. If you have to wait, then you got to wait till we do the bid opening, then we'll continue.
All right. I think we'll probably have to continue.
Well,
Now, for a couple of you, this is the first time that we met, so I'll just briefly go over. When I come to see you, I'm really looking to do 2 things, and that is to review from the liability side of the township, the operations of the township, to do 2 main things. One is to keep the potential low that you ever have a lawsuit. Second is that should you ever find yourselves in a lawsuit, from a risk management standpoint, I would want to have recommended things that maybe you don't already have in place or you're not already doing that would help put you in the best defensible position. When I say best defensible position, it might make us sound like attorneys. We are not. However, many of the things that we recommend for our townships are things that when it's time, if a lawsuit does occur, then those are the things that your attorney will ask for in order for you to be in the best, helps your attorney defend you, actually. I only get to see you once every 3 years. Don't really need to see you any more than that. However, if you need me in between that time, all you have to do is call because I am always available to you. I usually talk about, I didn't make any recommendations the last time because everything had been put in place. So what I want to do with you is to go through the things that are the top types of claims and lawsuits that we see in OTARMA. And the best practices that go with those that would help do the 2 things I mentioned earlier. And just kind of check to make sure how those things are still being done because they are the types of things that we see most often. So you stop me when, because you got the clock.
Yep.
motor vehicle incidents are the number one type of claim and lawsuit that we see. There are 4 best practices. There are 4 best practices that we look for. 2 when it comes to the drivers and 2 when it comes to vehicles. When it comes to drivers, I look at are we getting the motor vehicle abstracts annually for all drivers of township vehicles? You're still doing that
6
now?
months.
You do it every 6 months? And that you do have, and I do know this, you do have a driving policy in place that includes what we call a driving record acceptability standard, which would say something like any driver of an Auburn Township vehicle whose annual motor vehicle record includes 6 points or more, or any kind of an OVI or D, which is not a DUI, that person is not an acceptable driver under for the township. Now, I know that your drivers must maintain CDLs, which they'll lose their CDLs before they ever become risky drivers.
Right.
So that, to me, is just as good to have. So you have those 2 things. When it comes to the vehicles, I do recommend that the drivers, just for the first time they get in at any particular day, are doing a pre-trip inspection of that vehicle and documenting that pre-trip
We have that,
inspection.
yes.
Awesome.
I might want to add here, too, before we move on too much further, that our drivers periodically are in training sessions through the county's drug and alcohol testing program as well. So, Emmerich, how often is that? Once a year?
Once every couple of years we'll go. But the test on yourself is random throughout the year.
Yeah,
Yes,
everybody's
that's right.
subject
Yeah,
to
That's like
testing.
the classes itself.
But they call them all in on occasions when they're,
Yeah.
The classes are every couple of years, I think.
Yeah, every couple of years. Yeah. When there's any updates or any change to law. Or anything like that.
That's awesome.
And then just a review and a refresher also.
Well, the road department is the only one driving township vehicles, correct?
Yes.
Yes. Yes, that would be
We
it.
all have the CDL, so
Yeah, that's right.
so there's no other township vehicles that anybody else drives for.
Right.
Should
And
be
you've
okay.
got 5, if I remember right, you've got 5 in the roads department?
Yes.
5 full-time in the roads department. And 55 miles of roads.
Yeah, 54.
54 is good. Okay. And I also know that you're doing preventative maintenance and repairs and documenting those. So look, you've got the 4 best practices that we recommend when it comes to doing the 2 things I mentioned earlier for motor vehicle incidents. Driving policy, motor vehicle records every 6 months is awesome. We only recommend it annually. Documented pre-trip inspections and documented preventative maintenance and repairs. That's the best you can do. Really. Do you have any questions about that? I'll move on to roads and signs. Especially not necessarily you're sitting right here. So. Not that you can't answer, but it's nice to have the guys. On road and sign incidents, that's the number 2 type of claim and lawsuit that we see in our townships. And we recommend that you document any calls or anything that you might see out on the road that you then fix. And when you do that, that's number 1. Number 2 is that you've got some kind of a road and sign inventory or list that at least once a month you document that you've seen everything. Exactly. Okay. Now, so that's it for roads and signs. You're already doing all this.
We just, if you would have been here, we just had signs stolen over the weekend. He's already addressed them.
Oh, yeah. That's awesome.
Our signs have all been updated to the
Higher refund. That was my next question. Those
Yes,
yeah.
we received a grant through the county. That was done last year. Every sign replaced. And now what we're working on now would be the street signs.
Okay.
To be compliant with the street signs. The street name signs.
Yeah.
All control signs are finished. We're up to
Already
date.
done all the controls.
Yeah, and then our program for reflectivity is based on a year on longevity.
Okay.
So what will happen then in a few years, we'll have to go through the same thing and replace the signs.
Yep. Really the best way to do it once they're in.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. see how easy this is when, I mean, everything had already...
I remember doing this not too long ago.
Everything had, You've always implemented the recommendations that we made, so, at some point. So that's roads and signs. Let me run down through here. I might actually make it before your thing is. Do people use this building for meetings or organizational functions or anything? Do you have any buildings where they use any, where the public can?
Yes.
Yes.
Two buildings.
We have 2 buildings.
Okay,
right.
and you do have agreements in place that people sign that include hold harmless language in those agreements?
Probably find one for the town hall here.
Yeah, I would have to.
Yeah.
Well, just take a look at that.
Yeah.
If you don't have that, Fred, either call me or send me an email, and I will send you a sample. I won't make a recommendation for it because it tells me in here that you do have it. In fact, I think it's on your website. All right, so I'll look at it myself. I was on the website earlier today. I will get back on there and look at it myself.
I would think both of those forms are. I know Adam Hall is. I
Yes.
would think the
Yeah,
town
they're
hall
both
is.
on.
Yes, they
Both
are.
Adam Hall's on
I
too.
did. Yeah, I saw the links for them. So I will check on the whole harmless language, and I'm almost sure that's good to go. Do your buildings get at least once a year? Do you do any kind of an inspection for trip and fall hazards or things like that, and then document that inspection?
Trip and fall.
I don't know that we have a form we fill out, but we're constantly
Because you're here. I mean, you're...
service departments in,
Yeah.
prepping the buildings all the time. But we could make a form.
I have one I'll send you.
Okay.
And you can use that. It may or may not everything on that list will apply to you, but a lot of it will. And at least you can see what we're looking for, more of, especially since people do use your buildings. So,
Because most of the public use buildings like Adam Hall and Town Hall,
yeah.
those are basically, all the chairs are up, tables are up, it's just a blank building. When the people come in there and when they're done, they put it back.
Okay.
Or we have the cleaning crew that handles that, put everything back. So these buildings there's not things laying around or even tables set up, they're just open.
Yeah, but send us that form and recommendation, because that one does not ring a bell. There's a possibility we don't have that one.
So you only have to, from my side, just once a year, you can put it anywhere in the minutes or anything that the buildings are inspected, or use that form. I mean,
Okay.
I would try not to throw out extra forms for you to have to keep, because I don't like killing trees, but
Well, if it's once a year, that's
yeah, that's not so bad.
right.
Okay. Okay. Everything. How's zoning? On the zoning side, when was the last time that a review of the entire zoning text, all the resolutions, took place?
That's ongoing with our zoning commission. It's
Okay.
Land use plan's being looked at right now.
So usually right after that, if there are any changes, then okay. So
About every 10
pretty
years.
active.
Every 10 years, we revise our land use plan.
We're revising the zoning code every
Yeah.
month.
commission revises it constantly.
Okay. Not all of our townships with zoning have an extremely active committee, so which is why I asked. Okay.
Jogga County's pretty good with that stuff. I gotta say, the countywide, they're good here.
Okay. Good. All right. Good for that. Reflectivity. We got that. Cemeteries. Have you added or gifted? Has anyone gifted you any new ones? I have. You have 2.
We have 2. We've purchased some property to, in the future, expand Shady Side, the active cemetery.
Okay.
Yeah. It has not been platted or marked. We feel we're good for about 15 years with what's platted now.
Okay.
So it won't be too far in the future. We'll probably just do it a road at a time, I would think.
When did you get the that land, PJ?
When did we get that land? When did we get that land? 3, 4 years ago now?
3, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, probably sent right up about the last time I was here.
Probably. We bought it, it was late winter. We bought it from Sheriff's Sale.
Okay,
Yeah. Susan was here.
yep,
It's contiguous to an existing cemetery.
Yeah, we just added on it.
Okay.
Or it will be in addition to.
okay.
Got interrupted. It's
Yep.
7:50.
Yes.
And we got some bid openings, Fred.
Ready? Okay, this is for reconstruction and asphalt resurfacing of section C and D of Stafford Road. And the first bid I'm opening is from Burton Scott. What information would you like on?
Well, is there a bond and the total price, I would say. These are all, of course, reviewed by the county engineer before anybody's awarded anything. So
Total contract price on this one from Burton Scott is $1,098,381.66.
I believe this estimate is $1 million, is it not? Yes.
Operations,
Let's see if
contracts,
there's a bond in there. That just tells me everything's in play.
certificate of compliance. Don't see a bond. Don't see a line item for a bond on here either.
So put that back in the envelope and up bid guarantee and
Be 153.571.
there, it's there.
Okay.
It's
Here
side.
we have bid guarantee and contract bond.
Yep. Okay.
Issued by Fidelity and Deposit. Same project. Contractor is Auburn Paving. Total contract amount is $970,458.58.
What was that again? 970?
Yes,
Sorry.
$970,458. There is a bid guarantee and contract bond, Merchants Bonding Company. The third and final bid on that project is from Roniak Paving. Total contract bid is $972,647.03. There is a bid guarantee and contract bond from Tuttle Tech and Keller. Now we're looking at the chip and seal of Franks Road. Estimated $100,000. First bid is from Specialized Construction Incorporated. Total bid price is $99,350. And there is a bid guarantee and contract bond.
Second bid on that project is from Hughes Contracting Incorporated. Total contract amount is $101,450. And they did attach a bid guarantee contract bond. Third and final bid on that project. Roniak Paving Company. Total contract amount bidded is $102,750, along with a bid guaranteeing contract bond certified.
Very good. Specialized. Out of Colorado Heights, looks like, huh? Yeah. Okay, these will all be forwarded to the county engineer for their...
Right here, so we'll give it to them.
Oh, yeah. Okay. How about that? For their review. We're going to forward it. You can watch it if you want to. Yeah. And that's what happens next.
It's good saving us stamps.
Yep. Thank you. Thank you.
Good man, Nick.
We're going to do ODAC stuff next.
Okay, Kelly, you're back on deck here.
Okay. All right. So in the cemeteries, no vandalism or anything lately in the cemeteries.
Knock on wood.
All right. And then I didn't see that you had any open claims right now or anybody. If you don't have any claims. The last time I was here, there was a claim. I just don't know what happened to it, so I just want to ask you so I can put this in here to finish out this. It was a claim involving one of the wind turbines and zoning. That the property had been deemed agriculture and you were waiting for a circuit court to decide the case.
They ruled against the township,
Okay.
and a windmill went off.
Okay.
And we're in court right now for what would be damages, I suppose.
Okay. I'll just put that in, and the underwriters will have that information. They can include it. I just wanted to finish out my thought there in my report to them. So I think that's it.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
You missed it by 30 seconds.
Yeah, 30 seconds.
Well, that's all right. You know what? I've never, for all the meetings that I've been to in 8 years, 185 townships a year, I've never been part of that process. I know, at least even seeing that, it's probably no big deal to you, but it's kind of interesting to me. So, appreciate it.
Yeah, that's a lot of money right there.
Yeah, exactly. Do you have any questions for me or for me, or is there anything I can do for you?
Well, no, other than what we talked about with the annual safety.
That's a piece of cake.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, you've done everything else in place. I mean, that's. If I was putting that in A's or B's, that's a B.
Well, really, when we do township inventory, which Fred's in charge of that, you're responsible for that. Just add that for 2 buildings, and
Right.
there it is.
And you handle the risk part of our insurance,
Yeah.
as opposed to the property value, property damage part of insurance. Although it's not quite always clear where the dividing line is on that.
Yes. If, let's say that you would purchase a new building, the underwriters at Pharma would ask us to come out and look at that building and do, a walk around and measurements and what was the construction, all kinds of things to get them a good picture of what that building is. If you build a brand new one, it's different. I will never come out and look at a brand new building because that's all up to spec.
You just put one up at the park, and that's
Yeah,
Okay.
I wouldn't
Just
need to
answer
look at that. But let's say you bought an older church or something down the street, and then we would come and do a property review.
Do you have as part of what you're looking at? Do you have our new park, our community park?
No.
Okay.
So where I can go just before the light goes down, tell me about that community park. Is there any playground equipment there?
not yet.
Okay.
Hopefully this summer.
Okay.
There's some practice fields for intramural sports.
Mm-hmm.
There is a storage building, and there is a half-mile trail,
Walking trail.
walking trail.
Constructed this. Well, there's two more bridges to go, but constructed the specs for, what was that, like school cross-country thing?
Right.
I mean, it's there's a couple of creek crossings in there. We've been careful, but I think we contacted us. Yeah.
I'm sure that you did. I wouldn't have
do
seen it yet
recall.
since it would have been since the last time I was
Yeah.
here.
Yes.
You acquired that?
No, we've had the property for you, but it started the process.
Oh,
Right.
so you're putting
It was just
things on
vacant
it.
property before.
I see. Okay, I got it. So now in your community park, and you've started to you've got the track in, you've got so the fields are there for sports organizations who use soccer and things like that. Do you have a ball field lined out yet?
That's coming too, weather
Okay.
permitting. It's
Okay.
been difficult to construct anything the last
Okay.
couple of years here.
Let's talk briefly about the playground equipment. Did you have somebody that's already going to put that equipment in for you, or?
No, we do
Okay.
not. We've had, and you guys would be fully in the loop because I'm aware of the yings and yangs of putting in a playground. Yeah, that's probably a big one on your end, isn't it?
Yes,
I'll bet.
we're certified playground safety inspectors.
We've had people wanting to donate labor or donate equipment, and from what I understand, that can be a catch.
It can be. So as you get a little bit closer to that, call me because I can give you the names of a couple of the companies that have worked with our townships for not only for the purchase of equipment but installation.
I'll guarantee you we're going to call you. Yeah, that's
Okay.
been kicked around a lot.
And I will also get you the book that we all go by is the Consumer Product Safety Commission has a book that has been out for I think since 1978 called the Public Playground Safety Handbook. It's a guideline. It's not law. Obviously, Ohio does not have laws about playgrounds, but that is used as a guideline, and that's the book that we all go by. So we want to make certain that we follow pretty much what's in there. I can help you. I was with a couple of years ago over in Munson, Auburn. We got like 5 parks
Munson
in
just
there.
didn't know what
You know,
okay.
Bob. I don't know if you remember Bob Marn. He was on the parks committee over there. Bob actually died last year in an accident. But I worked with Bob very closely to help him get a lot of the new equipment in that they have over there by reviewing the plans. And I gave him a couple of names of people. I can't recommend anybody in particular. I can't say, you should use this person or that person. But I give you some of the names of the people that, when I come in afterwards and reviewed everything, it was exactly as it was supposed to be. And not all, unfortunately, of the people who work with our townships that put in equipment and playgrounds actually do it the way exactly as it's supposed to be done. I don't know why, but that's how it happens. So I reviewed the plans and then came in afterwards when everything was put in just to make sure that everything was done right, so that if something was not done right, you can get right back to your installer and say, hey, we have an issue.
Well, I can't see us putting in a $500 or $500,000 playground or anything.
No.
We're going to start small with
Yes.
something for the kids to do. People are starting to do things there. And Munson and Chardon, there's a couple of townships. And
Yeah.
And Middlefield Village just did one too. I mean, we're going to contact all those folks and have them steer us the right way.
Yeah.
We're trying to save some money for the dirt bike track and the trampolines.
Yeah, that's right. There you go, Mike. That's right. Well, I can help you through that process from start to finish. So you just call me and let me know when you're ready. And I'm up here all the time. And I actually see Munson and Chardon. So I'm happy to help. Okay.
Well, we're hoping to get that. Hoping to get to that this year.
Yeah. And I'll even help you, depending upon the type of budget that you do have, if you get a grant or whatever, to kind of steer you in, here's what I might put in to start with, if you want me to do that as well.
Okay. Yeah.
Because you do have to be careful about some people who sell playground equipment. There is a difference between commercial playground equipment and playground equipment that is meant for backyards. And you really want to be careful that you don't get somebody who will sell you stuff that should be in a backyard, not a public playground.
You've done the convention down there in Columbus, the Township Convention?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, you know how many playground suppliers there are.
Yes,
there.
that's right.
Tons of them.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
There are a couple up in this area that, in fact, the one worked with Bob over at Munson.
That came from somewhere down southeast of here.
Yes,
Where was that?
that's Meyer Design. That's Chris Meyer.
Where is
Meyer
that?
Design. That's an Akron.
Yeah, okay. It was over, I remember it was south of here.
There's
I was
another
talking to
one,
the guy.
Dave Williams and Associates. And there's another one called Playworld Mid-States. And they're all good companies. So...
Yeah, I think we have a catalog from Dave Williams, actually, that we picked up. I think we were down there.
So Playworld's a really good choice, too. And if you have people who want to do, if you want to save some money on the installation, Playworld has a program where you pay for the supervisor to come and help, and you get your volunteers together, and he will supervise your volunteers, and everything is done exactly right. And I think that one of our other townships in Portage, maybe Randolph, did it that way.
Got to have somebody licensed and certified, overseeing everything.
And that was, yes, and that's what you pay for there, but you don't pay for all their guys, you put your own stuff in. They save a lot of money doing that, so, but you call me when you need. I will, well before you're ready for the process, I'll get you the book that you need, the Public Playground Safety Handbook. I'll get you the names of the 3 companies that I might take a look at where I'm you. You can call them and have them come out.
We have had 2 parks open for, what minimal, the sports has been there for a little while now, but the walking trail's open, and when the weather's good, it's getting used like daily,
Yeah, that's awesome.
But we've had 2 little opening things where we cooked hot dogs and had, well attended. But everybody under 4 foot tall says, "Hey, where's the playground?"
That's right.
So we got to do that.
Well, I work with Atwater too. They just put in a new playground equipment. So up in this area in Atwater and Portage.
So
So we get to that point, and you guys are recommendation. You do a recommendation on location also within the property.
Yes.
Just to give you an idea of saying, we got fields here, parking here.
Yep, I sure can.
Yeah.
So just call me when you're ready. I'll pop back up here and we'll get it started and kind of get you on the right path. And I will work as needed throughout that process with people. And then I will also come and inspect it once it's put in to make sure it was done properly. Even if you hire one of these guys, we want to make sure that it's put in properly.
Right.
All right.
Sure do. Perfect.
Okay.
All right, Kelly, it's up to you. We got a question from the public.
Yeah, just an informational question. I haven't met you before, Miss Austin. As a resident, I would like to know the cost of your services per year, and how do you differ from Gates Insurance Company in Columbus, the one that is attached to Roman Flowers, or used to be?
Well, Gates is Bureau of Workers' Comp, and I am the liability side.
Okay. And the charge for those services?
My services are included in what they pay each year for their insurance. I am not a separate charge. I am included in their OTARMA insurance. In what you already pay for your insurance, I am part of that, which is what any commercial company offers. In any commercial company or public entity insurance group, there is always a risk manager, and it's always part of the process. It's part of the services that are provided as a member of that insurance group.
Thank you. I learned something tonight.
Good. Thank you for asking.
Okay.
All right.
Anybody else? Thank you very much, Kelly.
Thanks a lot. Nice to meet you, Fred.
I don't know if you're going to be able to find that park after dark over there. But
That's all right.
We'll send you a little map of where it sits.
Or yeah, just call me when you're ready, and I'll come up during the daylight, and we'll go take a look. All right?
Okay.
Thanks a lot. I
Thank you.
appreciate your time.
We'll go back to scheduled reports now. And I saw that. Did I see the chief here?
Yeah, he's here.
Yeah. I'm not doing good tonight. I know that.
Well, I'm so good.
He's got
How you doing?
I think he sits in the same seat always.
I got a couple things. First one is last Wednesday, April 1st, the fire department was called to assist the sheriff's office with the removal of a meth lab from a house on Dawson Drive off of Thorpe Road. There were no injuries, and the meth lab was safely removed from the site. Kind of interesting. Not something that happens every day.
What was the date on that again, Chief?
Big part?
The date on that again?
That was April 1st, last Wednesday. But it just goes to show that none of us are immune from things like this. And I've had a lot of people comment, in Auburn? Really, in Auburn? Yes, in Auburn. So we have to be vigilant and watch out for things like this.
From what I saw in the news, I mean, this is not just some rundown shack. This was a nice house.
Nice
that could have
house,
been anybody's name.
valued roughly around $350,000. You would never know it looking at it from the outside. It's down in the basement.
How they find out about it? Just
It was random, wasn't it?
Well, the deputies went there to serve a felony warrant to the grandson who was living at the property, and he wasn't home, but the grandmother answered the door, and consequently invited the deputies in. And the funny part about it was she made mention of don't go downstairs.
Grandma.
So,
Can't go grandma anything.
but so once they discovered the lab, they immediately exited the building, took grandma with them. They found her safe haven and secured a search warrant. And
was it her house or?
It was her house. So all went down well because you never know with those meth labs. They can be extremely toxic and extremely hazardous.
I think that same day there was a bust up in Munson too. There was something.
The second thing I wanted to talk about is residents with no address numbers visible from the roadway or poorly marked address numbers can create a real problem during an emergency. Time is crucial, and when searching for an address can sometimes make a difference between life and death. The substantial loss of property and the substantial loss of property. The fire department is ramping up our campaign on providing green signs or reflective numbers to residents at the cost of $12 per sign and $10 for senior citizens. You may contact me at 440-343-0064 if you would like a sign. The life you save may be your own. We have noticed an increase in the number of addresses that you can't see. It costs us more time to get to a resident because we got to find them, or go by and got to turn around and go back. So we're trying to make our residents aware of this. Fred, would you mind putting that in your article with the banter that time around? So we also posted our sign up at the station.
Now they're a good investment. Anybody looking for your house makes it a lot easier.
Absolutely. The third thing was I wanted to talk a little bit about an issue we've been working on. Last year, the fire department began working with the Bureau of Workers' Compensation in obtaining a safety grant for the purchase of 2 electric power cots for each squad. The goal is to prevent sprains, neck, and back injuries experienced by our emergency personnel when lifting heavy patients, which is ranked 3rd highest for on-the-job injuries. Should have kept Kelly here, maybe.
She doesn't look that heavy.
Batteries power these cots, which can lift the patient up to 500 pounds with the push of a button, and also includes a loading system for each squad. The cots are FDA approved and also provide additional safety for the patient. Cost for the cots is $77,324.16. Installation cost is $4,200. Total cost for the project would be $81,524.16. We were notified in February that the Bureau of Workers' Compensation awarded our grant request and have already sent an electronic fund transfer of $40,000 to Auburn Township. Our cost share in this project will be $41,524.16. We are requesting approval from the trustees with accepting the grant and the cost sharing of the project. I brought you copies of the quotes for the cot and also the installation. That being said, I'd like to introduce two of our members, Mr. Tomaselli, Nick Tomaselli, who's our corporation president, and also Jason Grassi, who provided a lot of the footwork for this grant and got it for us from Workers' Comp. So kudos to Mr. Grassi. Thank you.
Good job, guys.
Thank you very much.
Nick, would you like to say anything?
Just want to thank Jason. Definitely went above and beyond. I can say working and lifting patients on a daily basis, which we do, is not easy. It's definitely takes a toll. Many guys that go out on injury that work at part-time, volunteer, full-time departments, and a back injury can cost close. It can cost a ridiculous amount for somebody if they go out on an injury. And I know people that have personally had it happen. So I thank Jason for going above and beyond and working on getting that grant, because it's definitely going to help with any injuries that hopefully prevent in the future for us.
Yeah, help with our workers' comp. Too.
I gave you 4 copies, so get the trustees.
So, Chief, are you asking for a motion for the $41,524?
I'm actually asking for a motion for the $81,524, which $40,000 of that is going to be covered by workers' comp, which we already have the money for that.
Right, that's coming into us. So what we'll do is, if we approve this, then the bills will come to the township, and the $41,000 is already into us. So then we'll take the $41,000, our $41,000 and $40,000 grant, and pay that out of the funds we're holding for capital improvements over there.
Fire levy.
Right.
Yeah. Good idea.
Okay. I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
John?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
PJ?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Chief, while you're here, too, you want to say a word or two about Mr. Whaley?
Yeah, I'd be happy to. For those of you who don't know Dennis Whaley, he's been a long time intern part of our township. He's worked many years with the Sheriff's Office and auxiliary officer. He's also on the Scrin Fire Department for many years and Bainbridge Fire. Just recently he was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, and it's rapidly growing. He had a celebration of life last Saturday at the fairgrounds. It actually was planned to be the following week, but he didn't think he was going to be up to it, so they moved it up a week, and great turnout for that. We took up a proclamation of appreciation from the township and presented it to him. He was almost to tears when I was talking to him about it. Thanked us very much for that. But he was always here for us during our public functions. He provided traffic details for the 4th of July parades, for the memorial parades. I can't remember how long he's been doing it, but as long as I can remember, Dennis has always been here for us. He'd always come to our clam bakes and our pancake breakfasts. The man has provided countless hours towards our community. So I really appreciate the work he did, and unfortunately, we have sad news to report when it comes to Mr. Whaley.
Well, we wish him well.
Did he pass or?
No,
Still.
he's not doing well.
Thank you. All right, Jen, you got a report tonight?
Yes, we do. On first, I met with representative from ODOT, Nick from the Jolly County Engineer's Office, and Emmerich and Frank, and discuss the future development at the interchange at Freeway and 44. And as we know from Frank given some reports over the years, you have to get permission to put a driveway into Route 44. And so, it becomes a prime consideration as to how you're going to handle this traffic at the intersection. Both north of the ramps and south of the ramps, two areas of consideration. South of the ramps we've got about 85 acres that are not developed, obviously, and will be developed. And then you have smaller ground, but you have, it's all compacted north of the ramp. And so one of the things that ODOT suggested that they would do for us is to do a study of it and come up with a plan, an access management plan. In other words, it's not carved in concrete, but it's let's say it's a pretty good direction in which it needs to be gone to be able to safely get cars in and out, on and off of Route 44, or off of Route 44. And so they asked that, if we would want to proceed with that, send them such a letter. And I did draft up a letter, but I'm going to make a motion that, I don't know if you guys want to, if there's any questions about that, but...
I saw the draft thing. That's good. We should... You want to make a motion? I'll second.
Yeah, I'm going to make a motion that we ask ODOT to develop us an access management plan for the actually Taylor Bay Road north to Washington Street.
I'll second.
Give me just a second here to catch up. John?
Yes.
Mike? Yes. PJ?
Yeah.
Another issue that came up during that discussion and this is going on for 16 years or so, is we have a lot of trucks parking on the ramps and spending the night, so to speak. And it's not the greatest situation if you're trying to develop the corner down there. And he said, just simply, would we send them a letter, and they would it's their ramps, obviously.
Yeah.
And they would take the action to post that sign.
Federal law, they can only drive so far. They got to park for X amount of time.
Yeah, but they don't have to park on our ramps.
No, they don't. They don't. But like I said, it's some of these burdens they put on businessmen like that nowadays are ridiculous. But I agree. Yeah, it should be done. They should be on a safer place to park. But I have sympathy. I do.
I think the ramps down at 306 and 91 would be better.
Yeah, it'd be a lot better.
Or even that one at 91 and 422. Go over there and, I think it's just time, guys, myself. So I drew up a letter, and I'll make a motion that we send this letter to ODOT.
Should that go carbon copy the sheriff too?
Well, they have to take their action first, and then we'll enforce it.
Right now, this is just getting the signs up.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
PJ?
Yep.
Okay. I want to thank Nick for coming down. Didn't mean to hang you up for an extra 20 minutes, but the engineer's office has been were very helpful, and I continue to hope that they'll support us in getting that area developed. We got a blank slate down there, and it's very important that we get the traffic managed correctly down there. And there's what are those roads called, Nick, that like north?
If you had it, get a collector road.
So you don't have 5 or 6 access points trying to go onto 44 there.
It's kind of why zoning was set up the way it was too, to encourage bigger, I think it was 40-acre developments.
Yeah.
You know, rather than having every acre and a half lot have a driveway. Yeah.
So probably we'll have to address, this will take a little time to get. And I think we've also had a call from Mr. Ashby about the Maxwell property, and he's working with ODOT for his particular project. He's applied to ODOT, and they're working with him. So, I think that's going to be a separate issue than this will be, because I think he's got a little more timely request, but it's still something that we all have to be aware of. And I thank Frank for coming in too. And we got to look at this from all aspects: zoning, roads. So that's all I have.
Michael?
Thank you.
I don't have anything today.
What do you got, Fred?
I have nothing unusual. We have our warrants 2257 through 2284 in front of you for a total amount of $69,875. $69,875.53 for approval. Also have in front of you our appropriation status report, fund status report, and revenue status reports. Money is now flowing in, thankfully, for our first half tax advances, and all of our funds are coming up to speed, so I don't see any shortages coming up anytime soon. Spending is right around where we need to be right now, which is between 25-30% of what we had budgeted for the year annually. So we are in pretty good shape. That's all I got.
Okay. Let's see, Emmer covered roadside cleanup day. I think we got some supplies coming in up here before then too, gloves, and I think there's some bags coming in. I don't know, maybe a vest or two or something. So if you need any help with that, just step up to the office as that day approaches. Any on the service garage tonight?
Well, we met, we had a first meeting with the architect. We all gave him a lot of information. They're digesting all that information, and as in his proposal, they're going to get back to us here in about another month and a half with 3 directions that we can look at.
With costs attached, I think I heard.
With
that.
some preliminary costs
yeah.
attached, and
That's good.
So we're moving along.
Good. Okay, we're going to have some bid openings at the next meeting as well at down at 7:45.
Taking home business.
Okay.
We have the health district.
Oh, you have that letter. Okay, Fred, I was looking for it. Thank you. We're starting to panic down at this end.
We did talk about this at the last meeting, and the health department is looking to have an inspection, and we kind of were saying, hey, let's let them handle this, but we wanted to be notified whenever they were going to put in access into our roadside ditches. We don't anticipate that. I mean, we've been doing this now for pretty much 8 years, 9 years. I don't anticipate any problems.
They're just confirming the third.
It's just going to confirm that in this way, if it does pop up, they know about it and we know about it, and so I don't think it should be a problem. So, I'm going to make a motion that'll be our position, that will give the Geauga County Health District blanket authority to issue the discharges to the road, and that our office is notified prior to permit issuance.
Sounds good.
Second?
Mike?
Yes.
Peter?
Yes. Okay. Asphalt concrete products bid opening next meeting, 7:45. We've got estimates. We've been talking about doing insulation and drywall up at the new building at the park. We got 2 estimates. We sent out a few more RFPs, but we only got 2 back. Same. You know what? That is not the same insulation.
This is 113 and
13 on the walls and the baffles, and one's got a 30 on the upper level ceiling, and one's got R19. I can't imagine that cost difference is going to be that big, but there's probably some. Yeah, I was told that said R20. That did not say R20. That's R30.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
Yep. We may have to get some clarification on that one.
Yeah, that's
I'm sorry, not. Yeah, there'd be an adjustment to be made there. And there's no sense going with the drywall before the insulation goes in, so we're going to sit on that.
yep.
All right, I've been kicking this thing around since the snow was 4 foot deep about the accident in the fall where they took out the Eagle Scout project in front of the monument and the flags at the Shady Side. And rather than the kid Ben Blazek did that Eagle Scout project, and it was such a good idea. He put in a couple steps for people to walk down to that area where we congregate for the Memorial Day, for the speaker and things. Built 2 benches, which were immediately filled up by 6 people. And noticed that there's genuine fear of sitting on that split rail fence down there with anybody over 12 years old, put it that way. Like I said, since our driver came through and wiped that out, and we did collect on that claim, didn't see a whole lot of sense in reinstalling what was already there when now would have been a good time to replace it with something a little better. So this was a design build thing that I had a couple meetings with this fella too. So this proposal that came in after I finally got it clarified what I was looking to do there, it's going to build 1 bench, 30 foot long, 19 inches high and 16 inches wide, on 2x6 treated cross joists, on 6x6 posts, 4 feet apart, set in concrete, 2x4 treated ribbon front and back wrapped with this composite material here, 3 rows each, 1 inch thick. Back is supported by treated lumber as well. Exposed lumber stained to match the bench in the back when dry. 2x6 material fastened with galvanized carriage bolts, and 2x4 material fastened with galvanized ring shank steel nails. Split rail fence will remain at the flower beds on each end. And that quote came in at $2,485, and I think it's a good investment because I know it's going to get filled up in 1 day a year.
Yep. What was how much we get from insurance on that?
900. I don't know if it was 920 or 980.
It's like what's out of pocket, about $1,500.
Yeah, and it's a substantial upgrade, I think. I mean, at least for that 1 day, it's going to be put to good use.
I'd agree. I think it's an important day to have it. I'll make a motion to accept Auburn Home Improvements quote for $2,485.
I'll second.
John?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
PJ?
Yes.
Okay.
And that's exactly how I explained it to that kid, too. That was such a good idea, but we're just going to take and expand on it now. So. Okay, we got a gutter estimate here for the building at the park that there's no conflict with the drywall insulation we got to look at. And we tabled this from earlier on, would have been from November sometime till spring, because we had to decide where we're going to pipe them to, the gutters on the building. And I guess we're going north. Up into that, yeah, that's a good idea. That quote, which still stands, is for $1,421. And I will make a motion to go with that. That's from ProFlow Seamless Gutters.
I'll second.
John?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
PJ?
Yes. Okay, John got his ODOT meeting there. We had something from Penn, Ohio for dumpsters for, I assume that's June's cleanup day, right?
Yeah, that's for the roadside and the large
Oh,
item.
for both of them.
Yes.
It's comparable to what we approved last year.
I think you said that tipping went up a little bit.
$2.95 per haul, $58 per ton on the 40-yarder with garbage. 80-yard roll-off for metal. That's $120 per haul, and we get reimbursed for whatever weight we get there, right? And tires, which we get a grant that covers quite a little bit of this, but that's $6.50 per haul and $105 per ton. And for the Boy Scout, for the cleanup day, for the roadside, 15-yard, and that'll be donated. And my brain's not working well enough tonight to make up a total on that, but that's what the cost will be.
Final total till we get all the weights.
Right.
They did a good job for us in the past. Make a motion to accept the Penn, Ohio proposal for the dumpsters for roadside cleanup day and large item drop-off day.
Second.
Yeah, we're looking at what, just a little over $1,000 total there.
Yeah, we get some money back, though. I mean, it depends on how many tires you get. We get money back on steel, but that's not what it used to be either. That's dropped quite a bit.
John?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
PJ?
Yes.
And you guys need to sign that. I'm sorry.
Oh,
You
okay.
got to sign that so I can get
Just
it
get
back
the
to him and
original,
get my dumpster for the 25th of April. Thank you. I'm sorry.
Cool. Yeah, cool. Cool. Jogga County Summer Youth Employment Program. Emmerich, I think Nancy
Yes.
showed you this program as well. Operates from May 15th through August 31st. Cost-free to Jogga County employers. Excuse me. Wage subsidies will cover the cost of employee wages, benefits, supervision, and training. Payroll service provided. Workers' comp provided. Employees will be exempt from unemployment reporting. Employee selection is entirely, excuse me, it's entirely the choice of you, the employer. Discipline discharge is entirely the choice of you, the employer. Now, the thought here would be like a cemetery cleanup.
Cemetery, my grounds over here, the building, park.
Yeah. put them on a road with a flag,
No,
would you?
no, I
You
wouldn't
do that.
No,
Okay.
I have enough at the facilities
All right.
themselves,
All right.
outdoor.
Train them on UAN, get them adding and subtracting.
Although we did have a project that needs to be worked on, and that's to upgrade that zone. It'd be a data entry job,
Yeah.
and I think that would be excellent if they had somebody that had those skill sets that we could use.
There is a program, the county's going to put it on with some information on this up in Ravenwood. It's going to be on April 8th from 10 to noon or 2 to 4. And I have intentions of going to one of those too, unless this cold completely wipes me out by then, because it just came on today. So, but I think somebody will get there.
Well, we should send somebody.
Yeah, somebody will get there. If I can't do it, I'm going to send Nancy.
Yeah, or just let me know. I'd be happy to go.
Would you? Yeah, somebody will get there, because it looks like a pretty good plan here. It looks like a good idea. I don't think we have anything about willingness to participate or anything. This is all informational at this point.
Yeah.
But I would guess it's coming soon if it starts May 15th, so. Also, we got to designate somebody to do this CareWorks required safety training.
But for the Bureau of Workers' Comp training, because we've had at least one, if not two, claims in the past year, we need to send somebody to a 2-hour safety training session. And I guess it would be up to the board to decide who would be the best person to attend that training session.
Too bad this didn't come in when Mike missed that meeting, because I think I know who would have got that.
Yeah, now we got 3 trustees here. We have to Paul Brown and the fiscal officer.
But they don't offer that.
Of course, we should. What's that? Nancy looked into it, and it appeared that the online session was actually going to take more time than just going to this couple of hour training. There's one in Brooklyn, I believe it's next week actually.
It's 14th, which is a Tuesday.
You may want to look at a department where these injuries would be taking place, possibly. Consider sending a manager of that department.
I think that would be a good idea. I mean,
He got a new haircut.
he's got a new haircut. He's here. He's working anyway. It's coincides with regular working hours. I think it would be awesome. Good 9 to 11 a.m. Cordy, what are you doing on April 14th?
I guess I'm going to Brooklyn.
Call that a motion.
9 to 11.
I think we got to do that. We got to designate somebody. So
No,
I'll
that's
second that. Thanks, Emily.
Just for record, I'll make a motion soon.
Yeah, I think we got to make a designation. I'll second it.
John?
Yes.
Mike? Yes. EJ?
Yep. Thank you, Emmerich.
There's no I in Emmerich. Yes, there is.
Let's see, we've got a quote from Todd Lamb Paving and Excavating for the park driveway.
It goes back to last fall. We talked about this. And, we've got a lot of cars utilizing that driveway. And what's going to happen if we don't do some kind of service on there? One, we need dust control. But the second thing is right now we have a perfectly shaped driveway. We can lose that pretty easily by water. Driving on it, have the mud start to pump up and all the fines and stuff start to sink in. So what we would like to do is utilize Todd Lamb in the past. He's done an excellent job. We get him, his pavers, him, the guy, and his roller, and driveway, not the parking lot now, just the access driveway. I think we can do it for 40% of the cost if we would go out and have it paved. Well, as a matter of fact, we know we can do that. So I think that would be a good way to solve this problem.
What are we looking at, Terry?
You're probably looking at $50,000.
That'd be well worth it.
Yeah, I think we got to do that for the neighbors because you get 50 cars rolling out of there.
Oh yeah.
Dry
On
night.
Saturday we're having over 100.
Well, if you get that many cars rolling that hill when it gets dry, that's going to be a dust cloud down there. So we got to do that.
So what we would do, I'm going to make a motion that we hire Todd, and then we we can't do this though until we get dry weather.
Sure.
And then we're going to have to shut the driveway down for several days to do it right. So that's my motion.
Second.
John?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
PJ?
Yes. We got another quote from Todd Lamb Paving and Excavating about paving an area 80 by 75 in front of Adam Hall.
We've got, over 10 years.
It's breaking up. It's breaking up.
Guys, we went up and we put some stuff in where it completely came apart this winter, but it's a safety issue for the parking lot. And once again, we can handle this and get a very, very professional job done at a pretty reasonable cost for us.
There might be some dig outs around those catch basins there.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
There'll be dig outs there. We'll put some base material in there prior. We already anticipate, because of the special election in May, that we'll have the I don't know how Band-Aids, but the repairs done prior to that, and then Todd will have to move it later on. At least he'll get it tightened up. My guys are up there today cleaning up some of the debris, so we're preparing already to at least get ready for the election.
All right. Why don't we get to that first? And I'll make a motion to go with that. Todd Lamb Paving and Excavating to pave that 80 by 175 area in front of Adam Hall.
Those are for 2100.
2100.
Second?
Second.
John?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
PJ?
Yes.
What was the total amount of the proposal for the first time?
2855.
55. There's the second one there. I saw the second one.
While I was doing that, our dig outs all held up over on that side.
Good. That'd be a big factor in the direction we go there.
Okay, and we're at the bottom of the agenda.
Yes.
Anyone with any questions for the board about anything tonight?
Yes, I have one. Fred, for you?
Go for it.
Thank you. Warrants, when do you expect those will be posted online?
The warrants, should they be posted?
Yeah.
They should be up the next day or two.
Yeah, they weren't the last time.
Yeah.
Huge delay.
So we'll go ahead and get those up as soon as we can. It's really just issuing a PDF file, getting that out there.
Some of us still do like to examine those.
I can understand.
Okay. Anybody else?
Yes.
Yes.